Imagine a world shrouded in darkness, where every rustle in the bushes could mean danger, and every nightfall brought a chilling, primal fear. This was the world of our earliest ancestors. For millennia, they watched in awe and terror as lightning split the sky, igniting forests with a terrifying, consuming power. They saw volcanoes spew rivers of molten rock. Fire was a force of nature, a destructive god, an untamable beast. They feared it, they fled from it, and they revered it from a distance. But in the heart of this fear, a spark of curiosity was kindling. A revolution was about to begin. For ages, they feared it, until one day, they learned to own it. This is the story of humanity's greatest leap forward. Not a leap of faith, but a leap of intellect, courage, and sheer will. It's the story of how we tamed the flame and, in doing so, changed our destiny forever. How did we go from cowering in the shadows to commanding the light? It didn't happen overnight. It was a long, arduous journey of observation, trial, and countless errors. Our ancestors were the ultimate observers. They noticed that fires didn't just appear from the heavens. They saw that a fallen tree, struck by lightning, would smolder and burn. They felt the heat generated when they rubbed their hands together for warmth. Perhaps they saw sparks fly when two flint stones clacked against each other while making tools. These weren't just random events, they were clues. Nature was showing them a secret, whispering the recipe for creation. The connection was slowly being made. Friction creates heat, and enough heat, combined with the right fuel, creates fire. The gears of innovation were beginning to turn in the minds of these early humans. From observation came the next crucial step: experimentation. Picture a small clan, huddled together, one brave, or perhaps just curious individual trying to replicate what they'd seen. They picked up 2 dry sticks and began rubbing them together tirelessly for hours. Their hands would ache, blisters would form. They probably failed hundreds of times. The wood would get warm, maybe even smoke a little, but no flame. Others in the tribe might have scoffed, thinking it was a fool's errand. But they persisted. They tried different kinds of wood, different techniques, the hand drill, the fire plow. Simultaneously, others were experimenting with stones. They'd strike flint against pyrite, just as they would to shape a tool. But this time, their goal wasn't a sharper edge. They were hunting for that fleeting, brilliant spark. They would prepare a tinder nest of dry grass, moss, and fungus, hoping to catch one of these tiny embers. Imagine the intense focus, the held breath, as a spark finally leaped from the stones and landed in the tinder. A faint wisp of smoke would appear, and they would blow on it gently, carefully, coaxing that tiny speck of heat into a self-sustaining flame. The first time a human intentionally created fire must have felt like pure magic, a moment of godlike power. Suddenly, they weren't just victims of the cold and dark, they were its masters. They could bring light into the deepest caves and warmth to the coldest nights. But this newfound power came with a heavy price and a steep learning curve. The very first lesson in mastering fire was realizing how quickly it could turn against you. A gust of wind, a misplaced ember, and the fire that was meant to provide warmth could consume their shelter, their food stores, and even their lives. There must have been countless accidents. Early attempts to control fire would have led to devastating burns and terrifying wildfires. These failures would have reignited old fears. Was this power too great for them to wield? Some probably argued to abandon the effort, to return to the relative safety of a life without this dangerous new tool. Fire burns as easily as it warms. This realization was a sobering check on their hubris. They learned that controlling fire wasn't just about creating it. It was about containing it, managing it, and respecting its destructive potential. They developed techniques to build safe hearths, to surround their fires with rings of stones, and to always have water or sand nearby to extinguish it. Through generations of trial and error, firemaking evolved from a risky experiment into a refined skill, a sacred art, the knowledge of which woods worked best, how to find the right stones, and how to nurture a flame from a single spark became one of the most valuable secrets a tribe could possess. This knowledge wasn't written down. It was passed from elder to child, through stories, demonstrations, and ritual. The firekeeper became one of the most important members of the clan, responsible for maintaining the precious flame, the living heart of the community. The fire was more than just a tool. It was a social hub. Around its flickering light, people gathered. It was where they shared food, mended tools, and told stories. It stretched the day, giving them precious hours after sunset to socialize, to plan, and to innovate. The shared warmth and light fostered a stronger sense of community and cooperation. The darkness, once filled with unseen terrors, was now held at bay by a protective circle of light. Predators like saber-toothed cats and cave bears, which once hunted them with impunity, were now wary of the dancing flames and the strange two-legged creatures who commanded them. With the mastery of fire, humanity's place in the world was fundamentally altered. We were no longer just another animal struggling to survive the night. We had a weapon, a tool, and a shield, all in one. We could venture into colder climates, expand our territories, and push back against the boundaries that nature had set for us. The psychological impact was immense. When humans mastered fire, they no longer feared the dark, they became its light. This wasn't just about survival anymore. It was the first taste of true power, the first step on the long road to civilization. The flame did more than just warm their hands and light their caves. It sparked a revolution in their diet. Holding a piece of raw meat over the flames, perhaps by accident at first, they discovered something incredible. The fire transformed it, making it easier to chew, easier to digest, and unlocking a vast new world of flavor and nutrients. This single discovery would supercharge the human brain and body. What happens when our ancestors get their first taste of a cooked meal? That's a story for next time, as we explore the discovery of cooked food and the nutritional leap that made us who we are today. Thank you so much for joining us on this journey back in time. If you were fascinated by how our ancestors conquered the flame, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel. Do you and forget to ring the notification bell so you won't miss our next adventure. Into the Stone Age, we'll see you around the campfire next time.